Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds podcast. The Hounds podcast is proud to partner with Outdoor Dog Supply again for the 2025 season. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online garment sales with their world-class trade-in programs. These guys are not just a business, they're also houndsmen and women too. They test their products out in the field and really put them to the test. Get the latest in garment equipment, stay locked and ready with field trial equipment, collars, leashes, and so much more. Visit their website today at outdoordogsupply.com, and we want to thank Outdoor Dog Supply for their support not only for the podcast, but in the field trials across the country. When you're looking for your next purchase and equipment, keep Outdoor Dog Supply in mind. Now let's get this episode started, guys. Thank y'all so much. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds podcast. In this episode, we're going to be kind of short, kind of brief. I have let y'all down again. I do apologize. I know y'all are probably sick and tired of hearing that, but my schedule's been freaking nuts, and I just have not had time to line up a guest. So we're going to try to get on that here this week and get back to normal operations around here. Just had a lot going on. So I do apologize for that. I got too many irons in the fire, like I said last week. I'm pretty sure I said that last week. So just bear with me, guys. I promise I'm going to get some more guests coming on here. I'm working on trying to swindle some people into it. So, let's get back. Let's keep on kicking it off how we've been doing for the past couple weeks. I'm going to start off with our quote for the week. You can wait for inspiration. You have to go after. I'm sorry, I messed that all up. I done screwed that all up. Let's try it again. Let's be a little bit more inspirational. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. From Jack London. I thought that one was pretty right, especially if you said you say it the correct way. So, yeah. And then our verse of the week is going to be from Psalm 128, verse 8. The Lord will watch over you. Good Lord, I am struggling today. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. Y'all forgive me. I run dogs on Monday night and I'm recording on Tuesday night, so I'm a little tired. I definitely messed that up a little bit, but we got it. We got through it. So like I said, we're no guests this week, and I was sitting here thinking today. I was like, I want to have something kind of interesting to talk about tonight. Something I can carry on by myself. I know a lot of people don't like to listen to one person talk, so I'm going to make this one really short, really sweet, and then get to some of our other features. But one of the things I wanted to touch on, the past couple weeks, too, we've been talking a lot about the deer dog side. And I've been talking to some people and getting to ask some questions and stuff like that. And they're asking, what a lot of between the differences between the fox pen dogs and how they're training on the outside, how they run on the outside, and there's a lot of different things. And one of the things that's hard for me to remember when giving advice to people, and I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not an expert. I try to help people out when they ask and try to give them advice that I know. That's about all I can do. Anything more than that, I'm just winging it. No, but, one of the things that kind of I struggle to remember, and I have to remember my own self, is you need to do what makes you happy. It's never bad to ask questions. It's never bad to try to learn more, try to adapt different ways. But, and the reason I was thinking this is, I was talking to a guy, and he was asking a lot of questions about some of his dogs, and he was looking for some dogs and looking for puppies, and he was kind of questioning, how did he word it? I'm trying to remember how he worded it. Pretty much, he was saying, what dogs do I look for? I was like, well, what are you looking to do? That's the biggest question I always ask people is, what are you looking to do? Because that really decides where you want to be. I remember what it was now that I'm thinking about it. It was, how much does he want to spend on a dog? And that's what I told him. I said, that's where you need to be, making sure whatever you're getting is making you happy. So I asked him, I said, are you going to be field trialing. Like, do you want to field trial? Do you want to field trial hard? And he's like, not really. I want to be able to go turn my dogs loose on the outside, run a big old buck deer, and have a good time and get the deer killed in front of my kids. I said, okay. I said, do you plan on competing the dog? He goes, if I go to a field trial and just have a good time and, maybe I got a chance to get my name called, sure, great. If they don't, oh well, I'm just going to a field trial to have fun. And, and when I heard that, I had to really stop for a second and think, because I was like, man, what? How do you go to a field trial? Like me, personally, how do you go to a field trial and not want to compete? Like, that's what, like, when I go to a field trial, I'm coming to try to win. I don't get me wrong. I love coming for the camaraderie. I love coming for the people. I love coming for the sound of the hound. But I can do all that on the outside for free. That's just the way I look at it. So I had to stop myself and think, like, okay, that's what this guy wants. That's what makes him happy. It doesn't matter if he goes to a pen with, 30 dogs in the hunt and he finishes 30th. He went there. He had a good time. He got to hear the dogs sing. He got to have some fun. That's what he wants to do. That's great. So that was something I had to really kind of take back and like, man, you got to do what makes you happy. Me personally, I like to compete. I have deer dogs separate. And this was a question. There was also another listener question that we had. I think we had talked about it a while back. It was talking about competitiveness amongst hunters on the outside, and it kind of relates to the same thing. It's like, if you just want to go out there and have dogs and that'll run a deer, that'll do good, they'll run. They bring the deer to the barrel. They don't push it, whatever. As long as it gets the job done, cool. See, I'm not like that. I want to be first. Like when the deer gets dropped, I want my dogs to be the first one there. I want there to be no question about it. I'm like, yep, that dog right there, that was the one. Oh, yep, that's Hudson's dog. Yep, I want to go to a field trial. I want to be called out up towards the front. That doesn't always happen. It rarely ever happens for me, but that's my goal. And after hearing that, that was one of those things. I was like, man, you really gotta take into consideration that not everybody's like that, and I think that's so great though. Sometimes I wish I wasn't so competitive. Sometimes I wish that I just enjoyed the running of the dogs. I just enjoyed. I mean, I do. I don't. Please don't misconstrue that. That is where my heart and soul lies, is these dogs. But I also, when I go to something and I go to compete, I want to go compete. I want to go win. I wish that I could go to a field trial and just sit back, have a good time, and not care where I placed. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy myself then the entire time I'm there. But, that's just not in me. So that was just kind of weighing on my brain. So, I know I got a lot of guys that listen to this that may be new to the sport, or maybe new to, field trialing or deer dogging or whatever, new to dogs. You got to find what suits you. Maybe you want to run some slow, short-legged beagles and run a deer around for hours in a little loop. Not me. I want to push it. You got to do what makes you happy, man. And that goes for all, like I said, that goes for all aspects. Whether you're on the outside, if you want to run a bird dog and run a bird dog and that runs little small blocks and once it gets a certain distance away, it automatically knows to come back. If that's what you want, go for it. If that makes you happy and you can go home at the end of the day and say, yep, I had a great time out there. I enjoyed that so much and I can't wait to go back again. That's what matters. When you go to the lots and you're spending time with your dogs, and they make you happy. You take them out there, and no matter what, there's a smile in your face. It gets your heart pumping every time you turn your dogs loose. That's what's important. Now, of course, everybody, we're going to give each other crap all the time. I'm going to rag on the beagles really hard. I'm not a beagle person. I'm going to rag on them, I promise you. But, but if it makes you happy, Just like a lot of guys, your Beagle guys are going to look at me like, why in the heck would you want to have to chase your dogs off to the other side of the county to try to get in front of the deer? Meanwhile, I'm like, that's it right there. That's what I want. I want to push him and have to stop that deer. That's what I'm after. So do what makes you happy. And another thing that I was thinking too is, I know, and I struggle with it sometimes. And I try to always ask a lot of questions. I'm terrible about asking a lot of questions. I will question you to death if I want to learn something from you. But at the same time, that's so good in my opinion. And I try to tell people that, you'll never learn enough. There's guys that do this for decades and decades and decades and decades and years and years and years and years. And they're still learning. They're still adapting. Things are changing all the time. All the time. The way we have to run on the outside, the way the game is ran on the inside, the way these field trials are set, it's changing. And, maybe you are 50 years old and you've been doing this since you were knee-high to a duck. Maybe you got a 22-year-old that's close to you and he's whipping your butt every weekend. See what you can get out of him. Maybe he'll give you a little info. Maybe you can learn a little something off of it, And the complete opposite. Maybe you are in the 20s. Maybe you're a young buck and you're out there and you're whooping tail every week. You're going to the pen and you're bringing home trophies and clocks and plaques and all that kind of stuff. Don't ever think that you're done learning. There's always room to improve. There's always time to learn more. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Keep adapting. Keep learning. Just be able to listen. That's one of my favorite things. And that's one of the reasons I created the podcast. I wanted to get experts. I wanted to get guys, and most of these guys are so humble, man. I ask a lot of guys. I won't say his name. I talked to a fellow this week, asked him to come on. He said, I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you asked me to come on. He's like, but I like being in the background. I don't really want to put myself out there like that. I don't like to brag, and I don't want to gloat about things that I've done. He's like, I enjoy being in the background. If I've done things, cool. That's awesome. I hope people tell the stories, but I'm not one to talk about myself. And I have so much, and I get that a lot. I get that a lot from a lot of people. That's why finding guests are so hard on here. Most of your hunters and the guys that people want to listen to are so humble. They don't want to sit around and talk about themselves. Even though that's not what it's all about doing this, I just want to hear stories. I want to hear how this dog did this. I want to hear, different kinds of things. And I think that's what everybody wants to hear. But, it's finding people that are willing to share those stories and share those experiences that I get 100. Like I said, I get 110%. These guys are so humble. But anyway, back to where I was going with that. If you are at a field trial and you get to hang around these guys, the guys that have been doing it for a long, long time, like I love, one of my favorites to sit around and talk to is Cliff Parker. If you can get to talking with Mr. Cliff Parker and get him to talking and telling stories and he will feed you information. He's such a good guy. He's done so much for the sport, and he's so willing to teach and learn without even knowing that he's doing it, honestly. But he's been one of my favorites to sit around and just talk to about dogs. I've learned so much from him in the few times that I've been around him and talked to him about it, that I'm forever grateful for that. I've learned so much in different strategies and ideas to carry on and moved into my kennel. But it's times like that when you can sit and talk to these guys, even the young guys. It doesn't have to be the quote-unquote older generation. Sorry, Cliff. It doesn't have to be that older generation. It could be anybody. Me and Peyton are good buddies, but I've learned so much from him. John Molnar, just asking him questions, just talking to him, conversating about it, man. Like, oh, man, that's a great idea. That's a great thing. Even your guys like Tyler Mullins and man, there's so many out there, man. That we've had a lot of them on here, but just talking and listening, listen when these guys talk. Shoot the bull with them, shoot the breeze with them, guys. But man, if you can just listen and learn, that would carry you so far. So that's kind of some quick takeaways, man, that I just had on my brain today. I was like, everybody needs to understand that when you're doing this, don't lose what makes you happy. It's real easy to get caught up in what everybody else thinks is supposed to make you happy, where it'll make you hate it. Don't lose that. Always try to make yourself happy first, no matter what it is. And like I said, don't let anybody tell you what to do with your hounds to make you happy. That's something you have to decide for yourself. And then, like I was just finishing up there, be able to listen. Listen and learn. Don't ever think that you're too good to learn something from anybody. So that's my, whatever you want to call it, words of wisdom. If you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call it. But that's all I got for this week, guys. We're going to move into these other sections real quick. We're going to run through some ads real quick. I need to give all my sponsors and my partners a great shout out. Everybody that's involved with the making of this. So we're going to hit those sponsors that you haven't heard yet real quick. Then we're going to move right into the Around the Howl, and then we'll start off. Then we'll get into the spotlight. All right, here we go. Around the Howl. The Hounds Tales Podcast would like to take a minute and talk about our friends over at Cajun Lights. When pleasure running at night or judging those nighttime field trials, you can put your trust in Cajun Lights. With the economical Cajun Bayou for the every now and then light user, the Cajun Micro for the nighttime feeds and around the house times, then the top level Cajun Blinder for those hardcore crossing getters at night. The Cajun Lights are headlamp style light that free up your hands for voice recorders or your GPS. They offer flood style lights in red, amber, and a white walking light. Then the top of the line 4-level main beam light. If you're having a hard time catching crossings at night, give the Cajun Light a try, and the red and amber setting to catch the game without distracting them, and with the easy flick of a switch, go back to your main beam light to catch your hounds in action and get those numbers. Visit their website today at CajunLights.com, and at the checkout, make sure you fill out the survey after your purchase and select Hounds Tales Podcast to receive 5% off your next purchase with Cajun Lights. Now, let's get back to the episode. We're going to take a quick second and pause this episode and talk about our partners over at Elite Nutrition. Our hounds, they're athletes, guys. They give us their all each and every time that they're casted. Elite Nutrition offers an all-natural products to give your dogs the natural benefits they deserve. From the Canine Remove, an all-natural wormer, to the Electro Boost Paste for an electrolyte replenishment, body fluid balance, and blood flow improvement. They also have products like Active Dog Powder for recovery and joint muscle support, Essential Dog Powder for daily vitamins and minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes, and then the Canine Lactate Powder for nursing dogs to help with milk supply. There are tons of other products for y'all to check out at CajunLights.com. Then click on the Elite Nutrition section to explore. When you go check out, only at CajunLights.com, use the code HTElite10 to receive 10% off your Elite Nutrition products. Again, that's HTELITE, the number 10, to receive 10% off Elite Nutrition products only via CajunLights.com. I've been using their products over the past couple months, and I could not be happier with the results. See for yourself today, and we want to thank Elite Nutrition for taking a step forward into this field trial sport. Now, let's get back to the episode, guys. The Hounds Tales Podcast is happy to announce our newest partnership with Low 10 Outfitters. If your kennel is looking for new apparel to rock to the next field trial, look no further than Low 10 Outfitters. They offer shirts, hats, hoodies, coats, and other accessories with custom logos for your kennel or your hound to go on. With top quality merchandise and long-lasting quality, you can't go wrong with Low 10 Outfitters. And very soon we will be offering Hounds Tale Podcast apparel on their website at low10outfitters.com. So be on the lookout for that coming up here soon. Thank you, Low 10 Outfitters, for teaming up with the Hounds Tales Podcast. And don't forget, guys, low10outfitters.com to get your apparel for your kennels. Now, let's get you back to your episode. All right, y'all, now it's time for Around the How, presented by Elite Nutrition. Just make sure you check out their products, Elite Nutrition products, at CajunLights.com. And for 10% off of Elite Nutrition products, when you use the code HTELITE and the number 10, that's HT Elite 10 at checkout. All right, let's get it rocking. All right, one quick thing on the Around the How. Actually, we're going to do two. North Carolina guys, y'all need to pay attention. Go back and listen to last week's episode. Check on your North Carolina Sport and Dog Association page. There's a lot going on with y'all right now, and y'all need to be aware. Y'all need to be on the ready. There's definitely something coming, and y'all need to be looking into it. And in Virginia, don't forget your write-in period. You got a couple days left to get that done. I still got to do it my own self. I'm slacking my own self, but check all that out. It's all on the DWR page. It's on the Virginia Hunt Dog Alliance page. Check those two things out and make sure you get wrote in. Lastly, I have been meaning to get on this for a couple weeks now. Kenny Dean, we have talked about it a couple times. We talked on it on a recent episode about it happening. It's finally happening. There's a judges workshop happening at Sellhorns on May 10th. Yes, I know it's Mother's Day weekend, but see if you can get out there, maybe sneak away. It's a Saturday night, Mother's Day weekend, I understand. But if it wasn't so far away from me, I would probably be trying to do it. But it's a long way to go. So there's a judges workshop at Sellhorns on May 10th at 5 p.m. They're going to have chicken available to eat around 4:30. So if you're attending, please let Mr. Kenny Dean know so they can have a guesstimate on how much food to bring. They're asking to bring as many interested folks as possible. They got a lot of good quality judges that are supposed to be there to help teach, educate, and show what some different examples of judging, different scenarios. Look over the rule book. I'm sure, I don't know how exactly he's going to run the whole thing, but I can't wait to see how they do with it. Kenny Dean has his number posted. It is 252-240-9045, or you can look him up on Facebook and message him and get some more information on that. But shout out to Kenny Dean, Sellhorns, and everybody that's a part of putting this thing on. I hope it works out for you, and I hope this takes off. I hope this is something that spreads across, and we can do some learning and just help the sport. I think it's going to be huge for the sport, these kind of things. So hats off to y'all guys for taking a step forward and making this happen. All right, that's all I got for the Around the How. Let's move into the Spotlight. It's now time for the Spotlight, presented by Cajun Lights. This is where each week we will recognize winners and other accomplishments across the field trial world. Now let's shine a light on these guys and these dogs, and let's get to this week's winners. All right, got 2 hunts for this weekend. I didn't get any of the bench show results. I do apologize for that. And if there were other hunts, I do apologize for missing them. Again, if y'all listening and you're having a hunt and you want them on here, please send them to me. God, it would make my life so much easier. But I would sure save some screenshots and some phone space, that's for sure. But let's start off with the Twin Lakes hunt in Liberty, Kentucky. We're going to start off with the Derby. The combination winner for the Derby class was B&B Regulator. That dog is out of B&B's Loot and champion B&B's Camaro from B&B Kennels. He was 5th GTP with 322 points. And I did forget to mention, both of these hunts are national GTP hunts. Seeing these national GTP hunts pop up quite a bit here lately. So that's pretty cool to see. And that's another thing I was talking about. A lot of adapting. All age. The combination and dual champion for this hunt was MBT Chase. That dog's out of champion Henderson's Lotto and Henderson's Lee from Crossroad Kennels. That dog was 4th GTP with 430.5 GTP points. And your field champion for the all-age class was Finch's Winifred White. That dog's out of Finch's Captain Jack and Finch's Sadie Mae from Glenn Finch. The dog ended up with 600.5 GTP points. Let's move into the Southern Classic FHA at the Tar River Fox Pen. The Derby class, the best mouth was TNT's Redemption M. That dog's out of Murphy's Champ B and Trevor's Polly M from Farm Boy Kennels. The classiest hound was Dalton Sweetness from out of Spears Mountain Sergeant, and champion Dalton Spunky from Red Creek's Kennels. Your combination for the Derby is Little Mules Fast. That dog's out of B&B's Hank, and champion Little Mules Kim K from Little Mule Kennels. That dog was 6 GTP with 922 GTP. And your Derby winner was No Mercy Arlene. That dog's out of champion Bold Run Gizmo and No Mercy Lynn. Hounds that come from No Mercy Kennels. Ended up with 988 GTP. The all-age class, the best mouth was Dix's Uno, and that dog's out of champion Broke Right Assassin and Clybourne's K from Flat Creek Kennels. There was no dual champion made. The combination and classiest hound was Humphreys Bodie, and that dog's out of T. Jesse Wizard and Humphreys Hannah from Bird Mill Kennels. That dog did end up finishing second GTP with 1,505 GTP points. And your field champion for the 2025 Southern Classic FHA was Burnside's Wild Child. That dog was out of champions Crisco's Wild Boy and Burnside's Wild Thing from Burnside Kennels. Excuse me. That dog had 1,655 GTP points, if I read that correctly. I do apologize if I did miss that. So, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this week. I greatly, greatly appreciate everybody for listening. And, again, I do appreciate y'all's patience. I'm going to get hard on it for the guest to get on here and try to find somebody. And also, I am working on the numbers for the podcast series as hard and diligently as I can, guys. I am very busy right now, and I'm so sorry. But we are working on it just as fast as we can. So, all right, everybody out there, hope to see y'all next week. I hope y'all tune in. Thank y'all so much for all the love and support, and we will catch y'all next week. All right, everybody, like always, happy hunting.